I'm blocked. I haven't made music in months and it's upsetting me, and I think it's because I'm confused about creating. I've been watching artists talk about their process and found an interesting commonality. The music of these artists is created from their growing understanding of their instruments. It's sort of like music making as discovery rather than creation. In this video, I'll show 3 examples of how the relationship between a musician and their instrument led to new forms of music making. This is Elizabeth Cotten. Cotten was born in the 1890s in North Carolina, and although she had no formal training, she was known for her proficiency with the guitar. In this interview, she explains that when she was 11 years old, she saved enough money to buy a guitar and started teaching herself how to play.
See, I would just learn this all the time. I couldn't play it, just making a noise. I said, Mama, I'm learning a new song, and I won't learn no song because I didn't know one then. I didn't know no song then.
Cotten was left-handed, so in order to play a traditional guitar, she developed her own technique in which she played the melody with her thumb and the bass line with her fingers. This unique style is a product of Cotten's personal exploration with her instrument. A similar type of instrumental exploration is apparent in the work of Spiegel. In the 1970s, Spiegel worked on algorithmic compositions at Bell Laboratories, where this interview took place. In this clip, she explains that music ultimately begins with the artist's need to express an emotion. Yet she also speaks of what she calls a synergistic oscillation in the relationship between an artist and their instrument.
There's a kind of a synergistic oscillation between the degree that the technology that you work with suggests possibilities to you and the degree to which you come to a particular technology because you already have envisioned something or want to express something.
If an instrument has the power of suggestion, is it possible that the instrument can inherently contain a vast understanding of music without human interaction? Spiegel's object-oriented compositions are developed by creating a description as a general rule rather than making a whole bunch of specific notes. If these rules already exist within the technology and the musician is merely setting them, then is the music even ontologically related to the musician? That is, can the concept of music exist without sound, or even further, without notation? These questions are pretty hypothetical, so I decided to call up my friend Werner to get his opinion. Roy is an experimental electronic musician who has released 6 albums in the past 3 years. He uses Max, a modular programming language that allows him to build his instrument much like Spiegel.
This is my left-handed guitar. This is something that I have taught myself how to use over the years and have my own individual way of playing it, and it's an instrument.
In fact, Roy's music is primarily born out of the synergistic relationship that Spiegel describes.
So on one side of the spectrum, there is only the performer with agency, where all of the decisions are what end up being the recording. And on the other side, there is where the performer has no agency and the computer makes all of the decisions. But I think that's the most interesting part, is the interplay between the two, where the computer is making decisions, the performer is also making decisions, and that interaction results in a piece of music.
I think when I'm creatively blocked, it's because I'm having trouble understanding that creative production is dependent on the relationship between an artist and their medium. And with relationships, there's a constant push and pull between either side. Cotten, Spiegel, and Werner all develop their music through experimentation and discovery. Sometimes you just need to start making and discover something along the way.
It sounds really weird in Skype. Sounds good though.